All right, everyone. Welcome to another location highlight for Freedom Boat Club of Tennessee. This time we thought we'd mix things up a little bit and hop on over to East Tennessee. So I've got some of our amazing East Tennessee team members on with me tonight. They're going to kind of help me walk us through highlighting Fort Loudoun Lake and the three locations that we've got over there. And so, yeah, kind of mixing it up. We'll kind of hop into our agenda for tonight, and then I'm going to introduce you to everybody who's on with me. Hopefully, we get a lot of Middle Tennessee members watching, so that you might be inspired to hop on over to East Tennessee and check out some of these amazing locations. You won't be disappointed, as you'll see here in a minute. Before we get into it, just a couple quick announcements as people are hopping on the live stream, either Facebook or YouTube. We do have some events coming up. We've got the eclipse is happening on Monday, so just a few days away at this point, and so we're taking some boats out. We've got quite a few members RSVP'd to hop on. It's a nice captained outing, no charge, members only. Just go out, check out the eclipse from the water. I don't think there's any better place to experience it. So we're doing boats out of Fox Road. We'll be talking more about Fox Road tonight, and Jason's kind of leading that crew up over there for that event. And then we've got boats going out in Middle Tennessee out of Four Corners, as well as Tim's Ford and Gallatin Marina. So three different locations. If you're a member and you haven't RSVP'd yet, you still have time. We're going to be cutting those off Friday and then sending confirmations out to everybody who's RSVP'd. So be sure to check your emails. There's links there that you can get in on that, or you can just email me or Jason. I'm angie.scott@freedomboatclub.com. Jason is jason.evans@freedomboatclub.com. So reach out to us. We'll get you on the list if you haven't already done so. Um, and then in Middle Tennessee, we've got our big pre-splash party happening on Saturday, April 13th. So that information should be in your email as well. We're also inviting people interested in joining the club. So bring your friends. It's going to be a lot of fun at the National Boating Center at the Central Pike location in Hermitage from 11 to 5. We'll have food truck, a beer truck, going to do a cornhole tournament. We'll be piping out some music from one of the brand new boats. So there'll be several brand new boats on display. Meet other members, mingle, have fun. It's just a great time. It's one of my favorite events of the year. Jason, I think you guys are planning one in East Tennessee as well. So we'll be sending out information about that as soon as all the details are locked in.
For sure, but I'm stoked I get to come over to Middle Tennessee. I'm going to
That's
get to see
right.
some of your people over there. How nice is that?
That's right. Jason will be joining us in Middle Tennessee, so you'll get to meet him in person. Well, let's get into the agenda for this evening. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to introduce you to the team here that's on with me this evening. And then we're just going to get into kind of the same thing we've been doing. If you guys haven't seen the previous ones we've done so far, we've done Percy Priest Lake and Old Hickory Lake, both Middle Tennessee locations. If you missed them, just Google or go to our YouTube, Freedom Boat Club of Tennessee, click on the live tab, and you'll see all the previous lives that we've done, and you can learn about those other locations as well. And still several future locations that we need to add. So we'll continue to keep doing these until we've covered all of them. But we always do a quick introduction of the lake, a little bit of history, some fun facts. This time we're adding recommended places to stay. This is something that some of you have asked for. And so we're going to kind of give our suggestions of if you're traveling from elsewhere, where you might be able to stay. And then we'll go over where our locations are and kind of talk, give you a little background of those. Volunteer Landing, Louisville Landing, and Fox Road. So lots to cover tonight with three different locations. We'll go over some of the great restaurants that you can choose from. I think I was actually, as I was putting this together, quite overwhelmed by how many different opportunities there are to dine in this location.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good.
It's crazy. Don't plan on going on a diet if you're coming out to Fort Loudoun. That's for sure. We'll talk about the amenities that we offer. Give you a sneak peek of our 2024 fleet at those locations, and then we'll hop into Google Earth and give you that virtual tour. Some of the great, restaurants that we mentioned where you can boat to, also just some hangout spots and other points of interest. Then we'll switch on over to navionics. There are some hazards that you need to be aware of. And so we'll kind of, give you a glimpse of those so that you can be prepared when you go out there, especially if you've never been there before. Some resources, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. We may be able to pause throughout and answer some questions. Hopefully Mariah will be hopping on with us at some point. She's good about kind of monitoring the comments and uh, fielding questions. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's introduce the team. So I'm Angie Scott. I've been on the previous ones. I'm the membership executive in Middle Tennessee. So I'm not super familiar with all of the East Tennessee ins and outs, although I have been there a few times and really, really enjoyed it. So I'm kind of relying on our guests that are on with me tonight to help walk us through everything. We have Brian, who is, if you go out to Louisville Landing or now Fox Road, you may run into Brian. So, Brian, thanks for being on with us tonight.
Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Awesome. And then we've got Anna. If you go on down to Volunteer Landing, you will more than likely run into Anna. She's doing a great job leading up that location there. Anna, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And then Jason Evans, he is not only the membership executive over in East Tennessee, but now a training captain as well. And it's official, just got his captain's license. So, congratulations, Jason.
That was crazy. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And
Unbelievable experience. And I mean, don't say it to me. I mean, you're in the same spot. I mean, Angie's this master captain over here. So I
just
definitely
got to
understand
throw
what
that
she
in there.
did. That's crazy, man. Crazy. But
But
glad to be here. Love seeing Fort Loudoun on the list tonight.
And what's really cool about Jason is that he was a member of Freedom Boat Club before coming on board on the team. And so he's got a lot of experience boating on these waters. And so really going to be relying on Jason this evening to give you that tour and talk about these locations. So
No
thanks
pressure.
everybody
No
for being
pressure.
on. No pressure. You got this, Jason. All right, let's get into it. So I always like to show the map of all our locations across Tennessee, and then the yellow stars are the ones that we're talking about this evening. Covers quite a big area, and so when we originally were planning to do these, I was at first we were just going to do one and cover all 11 locations in one night, and then I realized like that's just impossible. There's way too much information that we could be sharing, so we decided to break it down into smaller chunks and do several of these. And after I started putting this together, I was kind of like, maybe we should have broken this one up even a little bit more. But we'll do our best to get through everything tonight. So, I guess I didn't realize quite how big of an area that these three locations cover. But like I said, we'll do our best to share everything that we can with you. So Fort Loudoun Lake, just some little bit of history and some fun facts. So this is the headwaters of the Tennessee River, and the water level does fluctuate a little bit, but not as much as some of the other locations. Like if we'll talk about Norris Lake at some point. This is a navigable body of water, so they have to kind of keep that fluctuation to a minimum. So usually anywhere from 813 feet down to 807 feet above sea level. Jason, I think I checked a little bit ago, and it's right around 809 right now. Is
Yeah,
that
it's starting to go up. And I mean, even just in the past couple of weeks, you can see every day when you pull it up. I mean, it's this much bigger every day. So I mean, they're
yeah,
starting to come back.
Yeah, usually what happens in the spring, and a lot of these reservoirs were created for, to control flooding, and this one is no different. So a big purpose of it is to help control flooding down to Chattanooga, and so they do have to kind of fluctuate those water levels, but they also have to keep it so that the barges and things like that can still navigate. But it covers 379 miles of shoreline and 14,600 acres of water at that, I think, 813 feet. So, really big area. The dam was completed back in 1943. So, this is the oldest location so far that we've highlighted. And the dam was or is 122 feet high, 4,190 feet across the Tennessee River. Lots of history. If you're into history, I highly recommend doing some like Google searches and reading up on it. But Fort Loudoun was the westernmost British fort in America, named after Captain John Campbell, the fourth Earl of Loudoun. Dates all the way back to the French and Indian War in the colonial era. So lots and lots of history. Now, one interesting thing that I've learned, there's two different spellings of Loudon. Loudoun is
Yeah, about
the
it. That's awful.
technically the official spelling, but more modern day has kind of changed it and taken that second U out, so it's F or Loudon, like the city Loudon. And I was reading up on that because I thought that was really interesting. And they do recommend, like, if you're searching about it, to put in the official name with the extra U, and you'll get like better search results. But it's kind of a shortened, more modern spelling of it. So, Jason, you've run into that quite a bit.
I get yelled at all the time because I live in Loudoun County, so of course you spell Loudoun, there's no U. Everything around here has no U, but every time I write Fort Loudoun, I spell it wrong, and then I see it, and then it's like, scratch it out, put the U in there.
Very confusing, but basically it's all based on the same thing, just two different spellings. So
Oh, and look, I
lots.
bet that's Mariah who just chimed in. She just put a comment on there, Loudon, Doun. So I bet somebody's watching us right now.
That's the official way to do it. So lots of recreation opportunities out there. Of course, boating, we know that. Fishing, paddling, bird watching. As I was researching this, it seems to be more prominent in the tailwater area below the dam. So lots of different species you can check out there: herons, cormorants, gulls, osprey, bald eagles. Water skiing or other kinds of water sports, swimming, camping, and several public parks. So lots and lots of stuff to do. Fishing, one of my passions. Super proud to say that the Bassmaster Classic has been launched out of Volunteer Landing now two times, 2019 and just recently in 2023. These pictures here are actually of me in 2019 with Gerald Swindle, one of my favorite pro bass anglers. I got to go out with him on the last day of practice and just kind of ride along with him all day out there on the Tennessee River.
No
And
kidding. That was
yeah,
pretty cool.
a two-time angler of the year, and now we're lifelong friends because of that day. So
That's all
that
it takes.
was super fun. But the predominant species you might catch out there are going to be largemouth bass, crappie, saw guy. I On our last live Old Hickory, I said sauger. That's how I've always said it. But I guess some people call it saw guy. Catfish. Now they do have an advisory in effect that they don't recommend consuming catfish or largemouth bass over 2 pounds. I think it's more due to like the mercury levels. Although like the oxygen levels are pretty good, but you do want to just kind of be aware of that if you're going to be catching and eating. Have you guys heard anything about that, or it's just kind of what I?
There's signs all over the place that say don't eat the fish. So
Okay.
They fry them
I
up
know
down here all the
you
time.
do. I know people do. So
They do.
several marinas on Fort Loudoun. These are just some of the main ones that I came across. So our locations: Volunteer Landing, Louisville Landing, Fox Road. We'll be talking about all those this evening. There's also Concord, Choteau, Whispering Cove, Fort Loudoun Marina, and Tellico Marina. Some others as well, but like I said, I just kind of narrowed it down to some of the more main ones. Restaurants, as I mentioned earlier, wow, a lot of restaurants to choose from. When
This
we
is
get
my
into
favorite
our
part. Ooh.
it's insane. When we get into our virtual tour on Google Earth, we'll actually kind of zoom around and show you where all those are located. But I mean, right downtown with Volunteer Landing, you got Ruth's Chris and Calhoun's on the river right there. Naughty K's at Volunteer Cove. um, Union Landing Restaurant at our location at Louisville Landing, Lakeside Tavern at Concord, Cheers at Choteau, uh, Calhoun's at Fort Loudoun Marina, the Mud Puppy at Sequoia, and Dockside Grill at Tellico. I think there's even more than that, but again, these are just kind of the main ones that we'll cover. And then by popular demand, people have asked about places to stay in the area. So reached out to the team over there to give some suggestions. There's a lot of places to choose from. I've stayed downtown Knoxville when I was there for the Bassmaster Classic. So many great hotels downtown. Jason, do you have one that you recommend? I feel like you mentioned one that you
I
really like to
did.
recommend.
And I'm going to pull it up really quick because I can't remember the name. There's a really sweet hotel that's downtown that's got the big rooftop bar on it, and it's got the little the Avi Topeka meats and Topeka vegetables. I think it's the Topeka meats that's inside it, but absolutely crazy place. It's got the rooftop bar, the swimming pool, the cabanas outside. I mean, super nice. So I'm pulling it up right now. So hopefully
Okay.
I'm going to answer for you in like
Yeah,
10
chime in when you find
seconds.
that.
Is
We
it the
got
Hyatt?
Mariah backstage now. What's that?
I was asking Jason, is it the Hyatt?
In the Hyatt, the old stair stepped shape one.
It's got the rooftop bar and it's right next to the Tennessee Theater.
Right across the street from it.
Yeah, right across the street from it.
And that's it. That's it right there.
I
That's it.
believe so.
Yeah.
All right.
Super nice little place down there.
Yeah,
Add
there's a
Mariah
bunch
in here. Hey,
Mariah.
Mariah. Thanks for joining us.
I got caught in some unsuspected traffic. So
Oh,
here I am, though. I'm here.
yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for joining us. Our East Tennessean. Is that how you say it?
East Tennessean. Yeah.
East
Yeah.
Tennessean. East Tennessean.
I guess
Our
we all kind of are, except for you. Sorry, Angie.
That's right. That's okay. Our chief operating officer. If you've watched any of our previous lives, Mariah's been on. She's been fielding the comments and whatnot, or questions that we might have. So glad to have her on with us. Mariah, just give a little bit of your background real quick if people haven't seen the previous lives or don't know you.
Cool. So I grew up in Knoxville. I'm from Maryville. Went to Maryville High School. I grew up at a marina. I guess early on, around the age of 12, 13, my uncle bought a marina in the Knoxville area. My dad was the manager. My mom ran the restaurant. My grandma was the office manager. Ended up working there until I guess 2020. So worked there the large majority of my life. And then, ran the Freedom Boat Club in the past Knoxville location for a number of years. And now we've, kind of taken the whole state over. So it's really good to be home. It's really good to be here. It's really good to be, call Tennessee our entire operation. So, grew up here. We're killing it here. Killing it there, killing it everywhere.
Awesome. Love it. Well, very cool. Glad you were able to get out of traffic and join us.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, we were just going through some suggestions on places to stay. So downtown Knoxville, Airbnb houseboats at Volunteer Landing. I have personal experience twice now. I've stayed on one of the houseboats there, right there at Volunteer Landing. It's super fun, super convenient just to be right there. Pet friendly. I've got 2 dogs, and the lady that runs some of them, she does allow pets, so that's important to know. And then if you're into camping, maybe you have an RV. There is a RV park really close to downtown Knoxville at South Lake RV Park. That's actually where I'm at right now. Not really, but that's my background from when I stayed there last year. So beautiful right there on the water, if you can tell the background there. But then you've got hotels in West Knoxville, which are only like 15 minutes from downtown. Airport Motor Mile, which, Mariah, is that where I stayed? Is that what that's considered when I like literally had to walk to the airport
Yes.
from
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
that
I
was
had a
awesome.
member tell me the other day too, and of course, we don't stay in a lot of the hotels locally here in our hometown, but I had a member tell me about that Drury Hotel in West Knoxville. They were like, they provide you with all your meals. They have a free cocktail hour and stuff like that at night for the people staying there, and they were telling me it was priced pretty nice. So definitely a spot to check out when you're over here for sure.
Cool. Very cool. Townsend, which isn't that far away. Lots of places to stay there. Airbnb cabins in Seymour and Sevier County. You've got Gatlinburg and Dollywood and all that's not too far away. Uh, and then Turkey Creek hotels for Fox Road Marina. So lots and lots of options to stay if you're traveling in from Middle Tennessee or other Freedom Boat Club areas, where you're not in close driving distance to our locations there. All right, so Anna, you're up. Let's talk about Volunteer Landing Marina right downtown. Some location highlights located at the headwaters of the Tennessee River, mile marker 648, just minutes from University of Tennessee campus, downtown Market Square, Gay Street, the Old City. You can, hop on a shuttle and easily access any of those locations. Any insights you want to share?
It's just a great location to be able, if you want to shop or eat downtown and kind of walk around campus. We're minutes away, and you can just hop on a boat after, spending your day in downtown Knoxville. There's Imes Nature Center, which is got a bunch of outdoor activities if you want to hike or paddle or anything like that. And it's just got everything you need in one spot. And so you get beautiful sunsets of the cityscapes, and then also the beautiful nature and scenic views also. So it's just really convenient to be able to experience downtown and be immersed in it, and then hop on a boat and get to experience on the water as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Or vice versa, hop on a boat,
Yeah.
enjoy, beautiful morning out there, afternoon, then hop off and experience all the great nightlife downtown Knoxville has to offer.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you, that is a great date night spot down there. You go pick you up some food, hop on a boat, get out there. The lights start coming on downtown. The sun starts going on. You got music playing. It is a great escape at 7 o'clock at night on a crazy busy work day. You just forget all about the day and melt into it. It's perfect.
Yeah, and try to kind of add to like some of the on-water experiences. So I did for a hot second, just recently moved, but I lived right over the river from downtown, and I could basically wave to Anna down from my house there at the dock. But Island Home Airport is right there. So if you're familiar with Knoxville and the Island Home Airport, there's a flight school over there, a lot of just single engine planes. And one of my favorite things to do when I go out from there is just, you literally hardly go out of the no wake zone, just up the river under the James White Bridge. And I like to sit either where they're taking off or where they're landing and just kind of hang out. And the planes literally just kind of go right over you. You can even kind of see them waving to you sometimes, reaching their hand out. So that's a really cool spot. And the kids really get a kick out of it for sure.
Very cool. Well, of course, one big highlight of being right downtown Knoxville is the Vol Navy quite a bit of history about the Vol Navy as well. Began way back in 1962. You can go read online if you're interested in that. But if you're not familiar with what the Vol Navy is, it's a really unique pregame experience. But now it's really morphed into everybody just hangs out and people have big screen TVs out there and you watch the game and you can hear the roar of the stadium as you're out there on the river. Right there by the stadium. It's not a lot of places in the country where you can actually go experience that. Average fleet of 150 to 200 vessels. I'd say it's probably closer to 200 or maybe even more at this point. Um, I imagine most of you guys have gotten to experience that at this point.
I have.
Yeah, it's wild.
Oh, yeah.
The roar explains it very well just from the river. Hearing everybody out there, Rocky. I mean, you can almost just feel the vibration. It's pretty neat.
It's fun.
Awesome. Well, I know we have some member social events. We did at least a couple last year. We'll have some coming up this year for some of the UT home games. I don't know. I don't have the dates in front of me. Jason, do you have those off the top of your head by chance?
It's going to be the first home game. I've actually got it right here on the computer in front of
Yes,
me. But I know
the Chattanooga game is our first social, and I think that's just there at Volunteer Landing.
Yep. And then we'll do the Alabama game, which I believe is in October.
Yep, and that's when we're heading out of Louisville Landing, correct, and doing the ride up there.
Oh yeah, we'll take the ride out of Louisville Landing, get everybody to park, and we'll come back and watch the game on Brian's television down there, and cook us some hamburgers and hot dogs, and hang out for a good time. Everybody had a blast with it last year, so hopefully this year we'll get even a little bit more response. It looks like the 19th, I believe, is the Alabama game in October, and the 31st is going to be that Chattanooga game of August.
And it's open to all Tennessee members. So even if you live in Middle Tennessee, you want to come over and partake, you are more than welcome to. So always be sure to watch your email. That's our main way to communicate these member social events. If for some reason you're not seeing these emails, I know I've already sent out a couple this month with things coming up. Reach out to myself or Jason. We'll make sure that everything's working properly and you're getting these notifications. It's some people, sometimes we get so much spam mail, it's easy to miss. So just let us know if you're not seeing it and we'll make sure that you're looped in. We'll also post them on our socials. So follow us on Facebook, more so Facebook as far as events go than Instagram, but you can follow us in both at just Freedom Boat Club of Tennessee. So amenities at Volunteer Landing, even though it's downtown, there's free parking there. Anna, can you talk a little bit about the parking situation?
Yes.
I know for like home games, it can be a little bit challenging.
Yeah. So we share the parking lot. The marina has a separate one from Ruth Chris's, but Ruth Chris's has the majority of the parking lot. But there's always parking available in the marina parking. During game days, I coordinate with all the members that have a boat reserved on game days, and I'll shuttle them from, I'll have them park at,
Ned McWhorter.
Ed McWhorter Park.
There it is.
Which is super close. And I shuttle with a golf cart, pick them up, and then bring them to the boat, and then shuttle them back once they get off the boat. And there's plenty of parking there, so they don't have to worry about parking on game days.
That was pretty cool last time when I went down there. It was like you avoided all the traffic because everybody else is trying to get somewhere else. You end up down there right on the river, right under the bridge, and it was just like vacant. And then here Anna came on that golf cart down there to pick us up when we did the last tailgate down there. That was great. I didn't even know that place like existed down there. That was awesome.
Yeah. Get a little golf cart ride.
Hey.
Yeah, and we adopted that park as well. Just so everybody knows, we're paying back for the park, so we adopted it. So we clean it up once a month, all the trash and all the collection there. So we do give back to that park, but we're using it a lot, launching a lot of boats and using the free parking, especially on game days.
Yeah, thanks. So if you need ice, we do have an ice machine there, right? That's correct.
There's ice down there, but not a ice machine.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
they sell
So
ice
it
at
is
the
very
marina.
cool. We do have some water toys, and then we do keep the boats under covered slips. Do we stage them at the gas dock, or do the members
Yeah.
go to the, yeah, okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have them ready at the fuel dock.
so super convenient. Great location. Our fleet for 2024, we've got 4 boats. So we're up to the Sea Ray 230 Bowrider, Sea Ray 230 SPX, which is really nice. 2 Harris Cruiser 230 Tritoons, and they're all collectively named after the city of Knoxville, just to kind of foster that love that we've got going on for downtown Knoxville. Any comments about the fleet?
Yeah, so we made a little bit of a change down there. So the 250 Dolly, she has retired. She put in a lot of good love for us down there, but she was, we're flipping the fleet every 2 years, so we've got a new Sea Ray 230 replacing her. But some of the names we've had is obviously Dolly, Scruffy's still there, Smokey, Henley. And of course, with the new boats coming in, we'll have to think of some other names. So it's always fun. That's one of our favorite parts of the job, at least mine. I don't know about y'all, but I dig it.
I love it.
All right, so we'll move along. There's probably a lot more we could talk about, but like I said, we do have a lot to cover this evening. So we'll just kind of move on down to Louisville Landing Marina. And Brian can probably speak a lot to that location, I'm sure. There is a wonderful restaurant there, Union Landing Restaurant. I've gotten to eat there, I think, once at least, but looking on their website, they have some really cool things that they feature in events. So they'll have live music, American food. Of course, we've got liquor, beer, wine, and specialty drinks. But they do some fun events, it looks like, such as Sunday brunch. They'll do karaoke, trivia, singo, which is one of my favorite things. I'm not a huge bingo fan, but singo is pretty fun, and some other stuff. So you can check out their website. Brian, any comments about the restaurant there?
It's really good. They have really good staff. You can go see Gabe in there. He's always taking care of everybody, so he'll know your name before you leave, kind of thing. But yeah, they have really good food specials every day. Like you said, they do the Singo on Wednesday, trivia Thursday. Friday they do a karaoke or a live set. So all kinds of good stuff going on at Louisville for sure.
Awesome.
And if you're wondering why is Brian always there, just always, always there, it's
Don't
because
give away my secret.
he does live there on his boat.
That's right.
It's because Union Landing sells fried bologna sandwiches. That's why he's
Yes.
always
Yeah, I can't
fried
give up a
bologna.
bologna sandwich. They're wonderful.
It's fried bologna, brah.
Oh, it's the best.
Fried
Best
bologna
steak
or
ever.
gravy, it's all about it.
Oh yeah. Hillbilly steak.
Well, similar amenities to our other locations. Again, free parking. We're really fortunate to have that. Is there an ice machine there, or is it ice
I
available?
think in the works, but we do have the ship store sells ice and all kinds of stuff. If you forget anything, there's a gas station right on the corner as you come up here to Louisville, so you can get all your stuff there. There's DGs on both sides of the marina, less than 2 miles away. Imagine that. So you can always go to DG and hang out and get your stuff as well. Yeah, all kinds of places to go to get provision for your trip for sure.
Yeah,
I just loved hearing him say it that way. DG's on both sides of the marina.
Yeah, exactly. They're everywhere.
If you don't know what DG is, that's Dollar General.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. You will have an ice machine there when your office is finished. So
true. It is in the works for us to scoop some ice for sure.
Yeah, we'll have the scooper there soon.
Awesome. Of course, water toys, and again, very fortunate to have covered dock and slips and a beautiful office.
Beautiful.
Really love that. Yeah.
And our porch is going to be utilized. We'll be able to do some socials up there. It's a good view of the whole marina, and then out to the end, inlet to the channel. So it's really nice.
Yep.
Angie, we got a
Great.
great spot out there to play cornhole in the grass in front of the hole. Just so
Ooh,
you know, the
okay.
grass is perfect for
The
cornhole.
grass is perfect. I promise that.
We'll be there. Just let me know when. So the
Stay off my
2024
lawn.
Get off of it.
2024 fleet at Louisville Landing. We're looking at 8 boats. That's my
Oh yeah.
Minnesota accent coming out. Sorry. Surf boat, elite tri-tune, 3 bow riders, 2 regular tri-tunes, and a double-decker tri-tune. So sounds like an amazing mix of boats there. Any comments on that?
We are locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded, that is for sure. There is, like, you know, if you've been a member in the Knoxville area, specifically if you use Louisville, Firefly, so the green and gray Taiga did retire, though we do have a new surf boat going in its place that we're not going to share with you yet because it's a surprise, and it should be a surprise for sure. Everyone should be really excited to see the replacement.
Awesome. Can't wait. All right, we'll move on a little bit further to Fox Road Marina, one of our newer locations out there. Again, amenities similar to the other locations, right? Everything correct on there?
No ice machine there. We have a relationship with the marina where our members do get very discounted ice. They actually make their own ice there at Fox Road, and they asked for us to not have a machine.
Gotcha.
Kind of
Makes
2
sense.
machines on the property, probably not needed.
Yeah.
But I think their ice is literally like 50 cents, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's nothing. Very cool. Boats there, so surf boat, elite level bow rider, 2 other bow riders, 2 tri-tunes, and 1 double-decker tri-tune. So sounds like a very nice mix of boats there as well. We kind of talked about the elite bow rider. It's kind of a newer addition for us on one of our past location highlights. Do you want to kind of reiterate about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's just simply, you know, not everyone that ends up on the elite level is super interested in surfing. It's not the only thing that the elite level offers. So kind of throwing that elite bow rider in there. It's really souped up, has a lot of extras on it. So it's a beautiful boat. It makes you definitely feel like you're in an upgraded boat. And again, just constantly watching the numbers, keeping our ratios true to what we say, and being sure that we have the boats we need there. And again, on this surf boat, it's one of the new ones. We are replacing all of our Taigas with the new surf boat, which again, it should be coming in here in the next 7 to 10 days, from what I heard from the manufacturer. So we'll be starting to tease you guys and revealing that here soon.
And that's
That's
just
awesome.
East Tennessee. So
that is just East Tennessee. You got to be strategic with the dealers and the partnerships that we have. And I'm not going to mention the dealer because I'd give it away. But you know, in Nashville, our partnership is with the Nashville Boating Center. They have Taigas, and that's what they sell. So that's the reason why we have Taigas, and they're one of the best lines of towboats. And here in East Tennessee, we had to create that partnership for our surf boats to be sure that we can get them fixed as fast as possible. And that partnership came in clutch. And again, I'm not going to mention, so we don't give it away.
Yeah, so big announcement coming soon, but even more incentive for our Middle Tennessee members to get on over to East Tennessee and check out the locations over there if you're elite level and you want to try out a different surf boat. So stay tuned for that. Well, all right, I guess that brings us to our virtual tour on Google Earth. Mariah, do we have any questions or comments yet? I've seen a bunch of comments. I don't know that I've seen any questions roll in. I will get us set up on Google Earth here.
Oh, I was on mute and I was talking. Jimmy, thanks. Yeah, we're definitely the top squad. Middle Tennessee along with us, of course. And then Jeremy down at Tim's Ford said good evening. See, Sherry Campbell was born right there at Baptist. Knoxville's great. We agree. Hey, Binkleys. And Andy Sutter over at Hampton Roads, Virginia. The owner over there is playing with us a little bit, using some puns. So the Andy being Andy.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into the virtual tour, and then from there we'll hop on Navionics and look at a few hazards that you should be aware of. But lots of different places to highlight here. So this is one of my favorite things. So we're just going to start at Volunteer Landing Marina. Yay! There we go. All right. So close out of that screenshot there. So if you have not been to Volunteer Landing, I'm just going to kind of zoom in. This is the downtown Knoxville location. So you've got the marina, and then the house. I believe the houseboats that they have Airbnb'd are down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Under that
That's
dock
correct.
there. And then you've got like the ship store and the gas dock there. Our boats are usually like around under here.
Yep.
We stage them around that gas dock area. Makes it nice and easy. And of course, you've got Ruth's Chris Steakhouse right up here. You can kind of get a picture of the view there. And then you go on down a little bit further, then you've got Calhoun's down there. There's, if you have a boat out and you want to just kind of park and go up there for some grub, you can do that. Anything else to point out there?
Got the stadium just right down from Calhoun, so it's
south.
super
Yeah, and I
close.
kind of crossed over, of course, the Gay Street Bridge you've maybe seen in a lot of photos and whatnot. Beautiful sunset views. And then as you go on down, then you've got Neyland Stadium right there, which, you've got, look at that, just beautiful. That's where you'll see the Vol Navy hanging out. So yeah, gorgeous location. And then let me zoom out here. Jason, you had me point out a no wake zone that people should be aware of.
Yeah, I think it was last year, maybe at the beginning of last year, like March or April, whenever they started that one, right there where the Alcoa Bridge is.
Yeah, so you're only gonna, this isn't in the channel. You're only gonna come across this if you decide to go by boat into Naughty Cays, going into Volunteer Cove Marina. And it's just whenever you see that Alcoa Bridge, whenever you're going underneath it, that's where it's become a no wake zone, just because there have been a number of incidents there. It's one of those things where we teach people, Jason teaches people, I've taught people in the past, Angie the same, and Brian. When you're coming across a big turn, you've got to kind of look first to see who's coming on the other side. Don't hug those corners, because that's exactly what has always happened. People are just hugging those corners on each side, trying to get to the channel fastest, and they're just not able to see each other until it's too late. So it's one of those things, never hug the shorelines on those turns in the river. Always stay middle and don't start turning until you can see what's coming on the other side.
Yeah, you can see there's a bend right there before you go under the bridge, so I can see how that could cause some issues if you're going full speed.
I usually tell people to run out to the marker as well. Like, don't cut, like run all the way straight out to the marker before you start making your turn, and that'll keep you where you're not cutting out the other lane as well. On some of those big turns coming into Louisville, because it is tight. It's almost just like a little racetrack, and you just have to stay in your lane as you're going up if it's busy out there, and it can get busy during the summer. There's a lot of boats out there.
Right in the same area, we've got that RV park that I mentioned, so that's my background picture tonight from when we stayed there last year. But you got South Lake RV Park back in there. And then that's the Naughty Cays Riverside Bar and Grill, not too far from that, at Volunteer Cove Marina. So if you're going back in there, again, just be aware of that that no wake zone that we mentioned. And then from there, we're going to zoom quite a ways. I mean, you're just kind of following the river channel on down, and then you're going to run into Volunteer Landing Marina, Louisville Landing Marina and Union Landing Restaurant that we talked about a little bit ago. So that's a picture there of inside the restaurant. And then, of course, Louisville Landing.
And how far, Brian, you've made that trip quite a few times. Brian, how long does it take to get from, if you're just cruising steady pace from Louisville to downtown Volunteer?
I would say 45 minutes, like cruising. Mm-hmm. But
Yes.
yeah, I'd be underway the whole time.
Here. Yeah, so you're, the river snakes around. You got Volunteer Landing up in here, and then all the way down here to Louisville Landing. So but yeah, 45 minutes or so, depending on how fast you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an easy drive. I mean, for anybody really. I mean, the width is there the whole time. The channel markers are really easy. I mean, none of the turns are really too bad. And I mean, you've got some beautiful rock walls, houses, and stuff like that. I mean, it is just a super nice drive to go out there and experience. So don't be overwhelmed by trying it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I know. We had a lot of fun that day. I guess it was a couple years ago now that some of the team got to experience that. It's just a fun, easy ride, like Jason was saying.
Yeah.
And we'll go over safety things as well. I mean, there is one area underneath the Pellissippi Bridge that you want to stay right. But as long as you're reading the channel markers, you're going to be fine. The channel is deep wherever you're at on Fort Loudoun. And it's when you get out of the channels when you really got to pay attention.
Yeah, and you're right. That Pellissippi Bridge, it pushes you all the way over to the right if you're going upriver, and you get off those channels, and you can easily see. I mean, ground. It's not too far underneath the water right there. So
that's right.
Stay to the right.
That's right.
And like I said, we'll get into navionics next too. But as long as you're using that, you're using your mapping, that makes it a lot easier.
We will set you up for success.
Yes, we'll do everything we can. That's for sure. So from there, I don't know if you were following me. I was kind of moving as we were chatting, but so Louisville Landing, and then you're just kind of following the river, and then we're gonna get to up in here, kind of Concord Marina, Lakeside Tavern, and Fox Road Marina, our other location. So we'll just kind of skip on up and start there. So Fox Road Marina that we talked about a little bit ago. And then you got not too far away is Concord Marina and Lakeside Tavern Restaurant. So I think I might have don't have a picture of Concord, but I do kind of a view from Lakeside Marina. So beautiful, or Tavern, I'm sorry. Beautiful views of the river. And then another no wake zone that Jason pointed out. I hope I got this in the right spot, Jason.
Zoom in just a little bit. It should be on that second bridge right there off North Shore, because you've got the entrance to Fox Road, and then it's that bridge where you go into Turkey Creek right there. That's brand new. I think it just came up like this month or the very end of last month or something. That's a freshie.
Yes, that is spanking new.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell you how many times I've come out of Fox Road and been in that big section right there in the middle, and you just see TWRA posted over here watching people go in and out. I know that's a huge area that people love to go in and go surf. And I mean, you can just go underneath that bridge and watch them driving in circles all around there. So, I mean, it was probably only a matter of time, but that is kind of a narrow little bridge to go under, and they're just wanting to make sure everybody's safe.
Yeah, and I can see why that would be a possible issue as well, just because you're coming in from smaller water to like a more main channel area. So
that's a great little
Skiers Cove. You're talking Skiers Cove, the next bridge up from Fox?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Skiers Cove. Most everyone goes there to pull. So yeah, definitely use and kids jump off that bridge. So when you're going through there, you got to watch out because there's a lot of recreation going on.
And that's it's along with the boat traffic. I've been in situations in that boat where I've come around that corner, coming out of the cove, Skiers Cove, and going out into the channel and made that turn. And, keeping my head on a swivel, but, you've got somebody that isn't fully paying attention, already starting to cut left, and it does get close. But I think one of the main reasons why this is a no wake zone at this point in time is because exactly what Brian said. I mean, because of that second bridge there, people are fishing off that bridge from the old North Shore Bridge. It's still standing. And people jumping off. I think you can zoom in and you can see where there's two bridges. Yeah, the one on the right is the old bridge, which is like a walking bridge now. But people are fishing off that, and just as Brian said, there's always kids jumping off there, and teenagers, they're not thinking about the boat traffic like they should, and they're just jumping right in. So I'm really happy with this no wake zone being added. I think it's a good move.
And I did see in that picture, it looks like, they do have it marked. I don't know if you can see the buoy there now. I didn't see it here on Google Earth, but so just pay attention to those hazard markers. It was pretty funny. I was really zoomed in on this bridge with the walking feature, and there was like a trash can with Bojangles. Trash can.
You gotta get your Bojangles
Crazy
on.
what detail you can get from Google Earth. It's insane.
The fish probably like the Bojangles too.
It's boat time.
So from there, we'll kind of continue snaking on down the Tennessee River to Choteau. And there is Cheers at Choteau Marina. So another restaurant option is if you need more, but there are more. So there you go. Cheers at Choteau. And then not too far out of there is a pretty cool hangout spot that a lot of people like to go to called Prater Flats. I guess that is the party cove of Fort Loudoun. Is that correct?
100%. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you got Prater Flats just behind this island. Does that island have a name, I would assume?
Prater Island.
Prater Island.
Yeah, basically, this used to be farmland, obviously, and the Tennessee River wasn't as, wide as it is now, thanks to TVA and damming it and, creating what we now know as Fort Loudoun Lake. But this was Prater Farms. So Prater Farms is on the Knox County side, over there, like close to Choteau. It's obviously this island, and then even Prater Farms is over here on the Blount County side. So the river basically split it all up. So it's just Prater Flats and Prater Island is what I know. And if somebody knows a better name, we could be wrong. So throw it in the chat.
I just always knew Ish Creek running on one side, and then the flats running on the other one.
Yep.
Well, we will point out this area in Navionics, but you can see it here as you're going back to Prater Flats. There's this little area that juts out there that I think maybe get some people sometimes. So
it always seems to get them coming out. I mean, as opposed to going in. It's an optical illusion, when you're coming out of Prater Flats and you look over and you're like, the channel's right there, and you just want to go straight towards it. But I always try to tell people, it's like, come out and head straight towards those houses on the shore, and then take the cut towards.
It's like a crescent line. You gotta make a crescent around it.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. We'll take a look at that and how it looks in Navionics here in a second. So then we'll zoom out. We'll just kind of keep on heading on down. So you've got a cool hangout area. Did I skip over? I did kind of just skip over. You got Whispering Cove Marina back in here. So just pointing that out. Another marina on the lake. And then from there, again, snaking on down the river. And this area here, Jason mentioned, is kind of a cool place a nice cove to hang out in.
Angie, that's a big RV park. You ought to check that out at some point when you come in. That's a beautiful little spot.
Oh, yeah? Awesome. Very cool. Well, is it Bustle? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Bustle. So
Bustle
this area right here, there's a light there. But back in here is just kind of a nice cove to hang out in. And then lots of areas over here. But we'll hit Fort Loudoun Marina first here. So you got another Calhoun's, and those of you that know me on the team here know that I do love me some Calhouns. Fried tomatoes. Just a tip: if you're eating outside at the downtown location, they do not have fried green tomatoes on their menu outside. You have to eat inside. So
Really? No kidding.
if you got your dog with you, you're kind of out of luck. I've found a little workaround, but you know, got to do what you got to do.
This one's got
But yeah,
that cool little tiki hut that opens up in season, and I mean that place gets packed out there. It's a good time.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And it's also good to mention. So unfortunately, the docks. So if you get out of this picture, and that is the parking for the restaurant there, but the long dock there in the front of the marina towards the channel. Yep, that one right there, that big long one. That is the dock that collapsed during the snowstorm. And that is still under some pretty extravagant construction as far as I know. And they have made that, they've extended Fort Loudoun Dam Marina's no wake zone way out in front of that. In the past, it kind of started right before that dock, and now they've extended it out just because there is a bunch of construction. And I'm pretty sure they're still trying to get some of those boats up. So.
And this is good too. I mean, just to be able to see for people who come in who've maybe never driven the boat down in there, how to actually get to the parking spaces that are right in Calhoun's. Because when you're pulling up, I mean, it just looks like a bunch of big metal buildings. So, I mean, you're just going in between the island and the one dock, and then you go in, keep those, other docks to your right and follow it straight in, and you'll see all those parking places that are in the front of that. I mean, there is a lot of parking at that Calhoun's.
Yeah, and it's also good to mention that the parking is only accessible when the water is up in summer pool.
Mm-hmm.
If you go there in the off season, because they are open year round, aren't they?
Yes.
Do you want to, just to be sure? But you do have to park, I think, just over there next to the fuel dock during the off season. And but of course, the water is going to be coming up here in the next 3 to 4 weeks up to summer pool, so not something we'll have to think about for too long.
Thank goodness, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
We're all ready. All right. So from there, Jason gave us some tips on some hangout places. So you've got Sunset Cove over here, and then across from there you've got Turtle Cove, and then just around the bend there is the popular Tellico cliff jumping area. Jason, do you want to give any insight on that?
It's just that whole area right there. I mean, when you come underneath that 321 bridge, the lake, I mean, it's huge. I mean, it gets really big. It gets really deep. And a lot of people, when they're traveling, they stay in that channel, which basically hugs the right side as you're going up the river. So you get a lot of people that come in there in the middle and do water sports, but any one of those coves on any given weekend, you could find a spot to throw your anchor down and hang out. They don't get too crazy. It's not like Prater Flats. You don't see as many wild parties going on down there. This, in my opinion, is kind of like the family-friendly spot, to hang out. I love that little cove that's over there where the cliff jumping is. Of course, you will see people in there jumping, but nobody knows about that little place. It's rare I've ever gone down the lake and found anybody sitting in there. It goes back in probably 150 to 200 yards. It stays about 10 feet deep all the way back through there during summer pool, and you're just kind of hidden away from the world for a minute. So, the noise gets quiet. You don't feel the wakes. You don't feel the wind. It's just a beautiful little spot. But definitely, if you want to see some kids jumping off the cliffs, go out there and just, float around. You don't even have to throw an anchor. Float around in the middle of the water out there and just watch them all jump off. It's nuts.
Might be some good fishing back there. Anytime you see one of these, like, we call it whale tails, where there's like two like creeks or something coming in, sometimes that can be really good fishing. So just a little secret tip there.
Now I'm just going to be looking for whale tails.
Looking for the whale tail.
I think there's a lot of hiking trails on that shoreline too. If you want to stretch your legs, if you're staying around the area, there's a shoreline hiking trails in that area as well.
Even in the back of Sunset Cove, I was kind of weirded out one day. We were over there and Liz had some family in, and we heard people behind us, and we're turning around and we're looking, and I had no clue there were trails all behind Sunset Cove back there. You could just see people watching. It was like, what are they doing? Why are they following us?
It's a long trail.
Nice. Skipping on down, all the way down toward Tellico Marina. So you've got another in Sequoia Marina. You've got the Mud Puppy there. So yet another restaurant. Like I said, don't plan on going on any diets when you're coming to Fort Loudoun. And then just across the way from there, you've got Dockside Grill at Tellico Marina. I don't think I had a picture of that one. But yeah, I mean, gosh, what a vast area. Lots of different options, so much to do. Anything else to add? I know we've covered a lot and kind of zoomed through it, but
No, I mean that's so much and so long. I mean, you got to think from Anna's place all the way down to where you were in Vonore. I mean, that's what do you think? Riding 20 miles an hour? I bet that'd take you 4.5 hours to get from point A to point B down there.
So
Yeah.
I know for sure if you're just cruising, no stopping, steady pace, nothing crazy, from Volunteer Landing to Chodo, it's about an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half. So then it's about, 30 to 40 minutes maybe from Chodo to the dam.
To the bridge,
So,
yeah.
So, I mean, you're looking about 2.5 hours. To do that though, you're going to be burning some fuel. I'll tell you that right now. You're going to chug it down, but it's doable. From Louisville to Fox Road, it's about 20 minutes. From Fox Road down to the dam, it's about 40 minutes, Jason?
From Chattanooga, from where now?
No, Fox Road.
Oh yeah, from 30 minutes. Once you get outside the
minutes.
lake zone here, I mean it's 30 minutes probably right at.
Yeah,
That's not going fast at all.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
We're at an hour, so
yeah. Let's hop into Navionics. We don't have a ton to show here, but just kind of important to take a look at that real quick, and then we'll wrap it up. Jason, I'll need your help here, especially you're the one who sent me these pins.
Mm-hmm.
I pinned this bridge here. I don't know. I think you sent that to me, the James E. Carnes Bridge. I don't know if
that's that no wake zone.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
That's the wake zone. Okay.
No wake zone.
Just A.
Oh yes, right. I'm gonna zoom out so I can see my waypoints a little bit faster. Let's see. It should be pretty prominent. Hold on, guys. All right, so all the way down here, we went ahead and highlighted that Bustle Shoals area where we talked about that light in the cove to hang out in. There is some rocks to be aware of there. And
they've got some metal stakes. They've got metal stakes in the water that hang out, so you can see them even during season.
Good. It's always helpful. Like some locations that aren't marked well, and then over here,
these things are marked. I mean, Sunset Cove is the same way. They've got it marked really, really, really well. I mean, it's fantastic.
So Sunset Cove. You've got that area right over here that juts out. Where there's some more rocks there, and then from there was another area. Let's see.
We're down into the Little Tennessee, so I don't know if you're going to have much going on. Now you're into Watts Bar. You're going the wrong way.
I thought there was another.
Right where the turn is, when you're pretty close to like where Prater Flats is, and straight across. And then taking that turn, like if you're from Prater Flats, and then you go south a little bit more, that first big curve, you'll see some more.
Yeah, I did want to point out that area we talked about earlier when we were on Google Earth, the rocks coming out from, this is that Prater Flats area. So that's what it looks like on Navionics. I added that marker, which you can certainly do on your own Navionics app if you want it to stand out a little bit more.
And won't you head over to Louisville Landing? kind of cruise over there. So we can kind of go over the entrance over there, because it's a little unfortunate when they dredged that area and knocked down the necessary foundation, which you've heard of this before, Angie, over there in Percy Priest, but you can see when you're coming out of there, which Brian could probably speak more of, but you can see that rock patch right there with the yellow point. Yep, right there.
Oh yeah.
You come face to face with that, yeah, on your way out. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So basically, what we're doing is we always exit the marina on the left side of the island, and we always enter on the right side of the island. So there is that yellow is like a staircase that's underneath the water, like a foundation of a barn, home, something. So as soon as it gets underneath the water, sometimes it's just 6 inches underneath the water as the pool gets going and rising. But so we just always run the low water line at Louisville, so there's no way ever that you can damage a prop coming into the marina, because it is definitely a possibility if you're on the other side to damage the equipment. So
yeah, Brian and his team does a good job of explaining that more when it's right in front of you.
Yeah, as soon as you show up, we always remind you, even when you give us a 30-minute heads up confirmation that you're on your way back, we'll remind you to enter on the right side of the island.
And that island he's talking about is that rock we were looking at down and to the right, just that island right there. Mm-hmm. You can up to the right, the other one. Nope, go down.
Goat Island.
That one. Yep. Island. Mm-hmm. So we typically bring members behind that island, even though it's red right there. During season, it's plenty of water.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, right now it's still showing 6. Well, that's whatever it is at full pool, so it is down a little bit, but yeah.
I think it's about 4 feet. Last time I think I ran through there is what the depth finder was showing.
Yeah, I think it's 6 right now.
Any other?
That is the low water line for sure. That's locals and whatnot, because they've had a bunch of boats on the other side. They had one damaged enough to where it was a bigger boat, and it took a while to get it out of the water. So they're really adamant on us leaving on the left side of the island, so we don't hurt anything. So,
gotcha. Any other important areas we should point out?
I think go out towards the channel. Sorry, Brian. Cutting you off. You can see there, if you drop it, go down just a little bit. So all that red there, you can see the Louisville Landing Park and the boat ramp. You can see that when you come out, but that's all really shallow. It looks pretty inviting, but they have it marked pretty well. So
you can see the channel markers here. So,
just don't drive to where the birds are standing. That's they like to stand over there.
If birds are standing, it's probably pretty shallow.
Boats don't go where birds stand. Facts.
That's right. Rule number 1 of Florida boating.
Yes. And if it's brown, go around.
That's right.
All right. Well, we'll wrap this up. I know we're running over an hour here. I'm not surprised. It's a lot to cover. So
a lot of stuff.
Thanks everyone for hanging in there with us. As I get this kind of back up to our PowerPoint. Mariah, any other questions or anything that's come in?
I don't think so. We've got a thanks, Dwight from Gallatin. Thank you so much for joining. Come visit us at Fort Loudoun. Hey, Binkleys. Good to see you guys. You guys make the trip over as well. Our staff in both Middle and East Tennessee are absolutely fantastic. So spread your wings, try to visit some of our other locations, just so, you can enjoy those experiences. And we're definitely there to be sure that you feel comfortable doing so, which kind of leads us into the conversation of peace of mind. I keep going on about it, but if you want to just have your membership and truly have that peace of mind to visit all of our locations, and if during these experiences, if you hop into another lake and you're feeling a little uncomfortable, knowing that you've invested in this $600 a year will really save you from a deductible, props, equipment, so on and so forth. So you can just go out there and truly enjoy yourself. Obviously, we still want you to be safe and be mindful of where you are. But it's just, it makes you feel better. I know that, when I travel with it outside of Tennessee, I get a lot of anxiety about boating in other areas where I'm not extremely comfortable. But knowing that peace of mind is with you always, because it does follow you with reciprocity. It's just, it makes it just 10 times more enjoyable. The Binkleys are interested. So Angie, you can reach out to Alan and Stacy if you wanted to.
Yeah,
thank you. So there's my peace of mind.
we are
Gospel.
looking at making some modifications to it slightly. So definitely beneficial to get in on it now before the end of the month if you want it, because from there you'll just be grandfathered in with all the current benefits at the same price. Reach out to me, Angie.Scott@freedomboatclub.com if you're in Middle Tennessee, or Jason.Evans@freedomboatclub.com if you're in East
Bald
Tennessee.
guy.
And
Yeah.
we'll get you all the information on that and help you decide whether or not it would be good for you to add it to your membership. Some resources, again, TVA Lake Info app. That's what I referenced today to see what the current water level was on Fort Loudoun. So you can make those adjustments in Navionics and show the current conditions. Of course, the Navionics Boating and Marine Lakes app. It is now up to $49.99 a year for annual subscription, but still highly worth it.
Totally worth.
Nice to have on whatever boat you're on. You've got your own settings. You know exactly what you're looking at. I use it down in Florida, anywhere I go. So super great app to have if you're going to be fishing or just want to know what the regulations are. You can download the TWA on the go app. Have all that right there in the palm of your hand. A couple Facebook groups I found: the Fort Loudoun / Tellico Lake Fishing Report and Forum on Facebook, and then also Boating on Fort Loudoun and Tellico Lake Facebook group. Do you guys know of any others that might be helpful?
Vol Navy.
Oh yeah, Vol Navy.
Vol Navy. That's probably the most active one, I'd say.
Okay.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
Search for the Vol Navy Facebook group. Join that. Mariah, I'll let you maybe take this section.
We want you to bring your kids to the dock and fill out an application for their first job. Operations TN@freedomboatclub.com. If it's not your kids and the college kids, encourage them to come out, get a job with us. Even if you're a professional and you have a little downtime in the summer and you just want to make some extra cash, we don't have to only hire kids. We can hire professional adults as well. If you do a really good job at it and you want to make this a thing, then we're constantly growing. We're constantly needing to fill some roles. So you just never know. With that being said, shoot us an email, operationstn@freedomboatclub.com. Message us on Facebook, message us on Instagram. In the past, in April, it's typically very tough for us to find kids just because they're still in school. So a lot of our location managers and regional managers get really stressed out trying to get the fleet in the water, trying to get everything ramped up, and then not having staff. It gets pretty stressful. So we're really trying to push to get as many new bodies as we can down at the docks and start the good boat work. So there's my spiel.
There you go. Good job.
It's a good spiel.
All right. Any more Q&A? I don't know if anything else has come in. I've been checking here.
I don't see anything. I'm not seeing any questions right now. And as we always say, If you watch this later and you have questions, we've always got people monitoring our social pages. So just give us a shout if you have a question. You can just shoot it in the comments, email Jason, email Angie. If you ever want to talk to Anna, you can call the Volunteer Landing dock phone number, Brian, Louisville Landing dock phone number. But also, did you all mention that Brian's a regional guy now?
No, we need to mention that for sure.
Yeah, Brian and Anna have taken a step up this year. So Anna's covering 2 locations. So you'll see her on the Norris call with Johnny as she's learning that role. Johnny really got up to speed up there on Norris last year. So Anna is covering Norris and Volunteer Landing. She obviously can't be 2 places at once. So she's going to be managing 2 teams. Brian's going to be doing the same, covering Fox Road and Louisville Landing. Ryan is still on the team with us. He is transferring back over to Nashville. That's his happy place. He did exactly what he was supposed to do, helping us get Fox Road up and running. So don't worry, he's still around. You're just going to catch him over in the Nashville area once again. But Brian's going to be taking the Fort Loudoun suburb mothership with his teams, and we look forward to seeing everyone. They absolutely earned it. So tremendous job to the both of them. So that's why they're sitting in those seats.
Get it, boy.
Take it.
That's right.
Cool.
And just a reminder, if you want to go back and reference these are saved on our Facebook and YouTube. Probably the easiest access would be to go to Freedom Boat Club of Tennessee on YouTube, click the live tab, and that's where you're going to see all of our previous Facebook, YouTube lives that we've done. So if you're, maybe going to Fort Loudoun, but not until later in the summer or something, and you want a refresher, go back, check it out. And we're always around to answer questions and happy to help however we can.
Awesome. Good job, everybody. Sorry I was late.
Eudemus.
No worries. We'll continue doing these. We still got 6 more locations to cover. So there will be more following, and stay tuned, and we'll see you all on the docks.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya.